and take his throne away from him. And Lakshman, who is Balaram himself, the wrath in his eyes were capable of burning that entire army to ashes. He said, I will destroy Bharat and his entire army single-handedly today with my bows and arrows. Ram chastised Lakshman. Don't you ever think like that about your brother. Do you not know the purity of his heart? Bharat loves me as much as you love me. Envy, pride, greed can never exist in the heart of such a great soul as our brother Bharat. Please know for sure he's coming with all the citizens of Ayodhya to beg me to return to Ayodhya and be king. Lakshman put his head down in shame because he knew what Ram was speaking was true. Meanwhile, Bharat got down from his chariot, which had 12 horses driving it, and he went by foot with Vashishta Muni, Maharaj Guha, and behind them he went by foot with Shatrugna and Guha, and behind him was Vashishta Muni and the mothers, and behind them were the armies. Bharat went by foot. He saw some smoke coming from the mountain of Chitrakoot in a dense jungle. He understood this must be where Ram is living. He came upon a clearing where he saw a thatched hut. And there was the bow, the golden bow, which shone like rainbow. And the quivers of arrows, and the swords and the sheaths that were Ram and Lakshman's, hanging from the outside of that little hut. And then he saw a sacred fire burning. And beside that was Ram. He wept bitter tears, seeing his brother dressed in tree bark with matted hair, sitting on the ground. And when he saw Sita in the same condition, it was intolerable for his heart to accommodate. He ran to Ram, all three of them. But as they were running, even though it was flat ground, they were stumbling at every step. And finally, he just fell down and laid at the feet of Sri Ram, grabbing Ram's feet and putting them on his head, crying uncontrollably. Ram picked him up and embraced him. And today, for those of you who have gone to Chitrakoot, you have seen that the embrace of Ram and Bharat was so deep with affection that the rocks beneath their feet melted by the experience. Their footprints are visible even today in the rocks. And Kausalya came later on, and she embraced Sita, and the same experience took place. Ram asked Bharat, I do not understand why you have come to the forest with all these big armies, and why our father's elephant is here, but our father is not here. Bharat told that in separation from you, chanting your holy names, meditating on your divine form, our father's soul has departed. When Ram heard this, he fell to the ground weeping. And then he went and told Sita that your father-in-law is no more. And he told Lakshman, I must tell you, my brother, you are fatherless. Our father has ascended to heaven. All three of them laid on the ground crying. This should be understood in its perspective. The Supreme Lord knows better than anyone that the soul is eternal. There is no death. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna chastises Arjuna. Why are you lamenting for either the living or the dead? The soul is eternal. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us ever cease to be. The soul is unborn, the soul is undying. It's only the temporary covering of the body. So why should you lament? So why Ram was lamenting? Because Ram and Krishna are the same person in different incarnations. Ram was not just lamenting, he was weeping, crying. And so was Sita and Lakshman. And Bharat was trying to console them because he already went through the mourning stages. Yes, the Lord knows perfectly the eternality of the soul. But still, the relationship of love between the Lord and his devotee and the feelings of separation is a type of transcendental ecstasy. He was showing us how to love. And he was showing us the love between him and his devotees. Hearing the crying, the mothers came. And soon the soldiers came. They all heard this crying. And Lord Ram went to the river and performed from his own hands the last rites for his father. As everyone was listening to every word in pin-drop silence, Bharat begged Ram, you are the eldest son. Throughout the history of our dynasty, the throne has always been given to the king's eldest son. It is yours. Now my father is no longer. The entire kingdom of Ayodhya has come here to beg you to return. If you think that you have to protect your father's word of honor, then just understand it this way. My mother Kaikeyi, she's satisfied. I've already been given the position of the king. But now as the king, it is my right to give it to you. So return. But he was saying it, trembling with tears, choked up with such love. Lord Rama, he told Bharat, that in this world, things do not always go our way, because no one is the controller. Even though he was the controller, he was speaking from the point of view of us. He says, no one is the controller. There are always situations that will overcome us. Every joy, there is sorrow. With every meeting, there is imminent separation. With every gain, we know inevitably we will lose it. And with life, we know for sure that death will end it. So we must learn in this world to face all these obstacles with integrity. Our Father, He has spoken that you be king and I go to the forest for exile. It must be honored. Bharat said, our father was an illusion. Because of my wretched, envious, wicked mother. Our father fell under the spell of her powers. And he did something that was wrong. Make it right, Ram, and go back. Don't let his mistake spoil everybody's life. Rectify his mistake in his honor by coming back to Ayodhya. How can I be king in place of you? Can a donkey walk with the gait of a horse? Can a sparrow fly with the elegance of Garuda? I'm nothing. You are everything. You must return. Ram preached to Bharat with very, very great affection. Do not ever criticize your mother. You do not understand that whatever she has done is for the ultimate good of everyone. I have given my word to my father that I would leave. And the integrity of my character is based on the word I've given my father. Vashishta Muni approached. He saw that Bharat was losing the debate. Vashishta Muni said, I am your priest. I'm a Brahmin. I'm higher than your father. And I order you to go back to Ayodhya. And Ram said, yes, I honor what you speak. But my mother and father, when I was absolutely helpless, they nursed me. They protected me. They put me to bed at night. They fed me. When I was absolutely helpless, they were there for me 24 hours a day. Do not you understand the debt that I feel toward them? Were you there at that time? Vashishta Muni, I was just testing you, Ram. I was just testing. The dialogue went on for a long time. Many people tried to convince Ram. Everybody was trying to convince him. And Bharat was begging. Even the demigods from the higher planets were watching. And they really wanted Ram to win because they understood his mission. That Ravana and all these Rakshasas were destroying the sanctity of the planet, and only Ram could defeat them. And if we went back to Ayodhya, he would just be happy with his people. If he lived in the forest, he would have to face them. So the demigods spoke to Bharat, let him stay. This is what he wants. Let him stay. Ultimately, Bharat understood the determination of Sri Ram. All of the citizens were simultaneously joyful and despondent. They were joyful to see that Ram, who was their life, their soul, their everything in life, had such fixed determination to live by the highest principle of integrity and character, to live by the highest principle of loyalty and faithfulness. But they suffered miserably, knowing that there's no way any power could bring him back to Ayodhya. Bharat had a pair of wooden shoes inlaid with gold and jewels. And he made a vow. He said, Ram, I brought these shoes for you to coronate you as king and bring you back. But now you're not coming back. Put your feet in these shoes, and I will coronate these shoes as the king of Ayodhya. And I will be the menial servant of your shoes for the next 14 years. And myself, I will not live in a palace. If you're living in the jungle, I live in the jungle. If you grow your beautiful silken hair matted, I will grow my hair matted. If you only wear the tree bark on your body, in the next 14 years, I will wear nothing but tree bark. If you're only eating the raw, dry roots and herbs of the ground, for the next 14 years, that will be my diet. It is my vow. And you want the kingdom to go on nicely? I will perform all the services of the king as your menial servant. I'll execute all the duties, but your shoes will be the king. This is such a crucial principle for everyone on the path of devotion to understand. Bharat's expression, it must go deep in our hearts if we really want to understand what is Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, our only aspiration is to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Lord. We're not concerned with any position, we're not concerned with any title, we're not concerned with any facility. We can accept whatever we need to accept for the purpose of serving. But it's service that is our life and soul. Bharat he performed all the responsibilities necessary to rule an entire kingdom. First person ever in history that did it, living in a jungle. Because generally, to perform that service, you need the prestige, you need the palace, you need the throne. It's all part of the service. He rejected the position, rejected the title, rejected the prestige, but accepted wholeheartedly the responsibility of the service. That is the essence. And that was one of the greatest detriments in any spiritual society. That Maya or illusion captures us with this attraction, allurement for facilities. We want to utilize the facilities we're having, and we become attached to them. Facilities are meant for God's service. But the tendency is we become attached. And how do you know if you're attached or not? Anyone can say, I'm detached, it's all for Krishna. Anyone can say that. Even I could say that. But the test is when you're asked to give it up. When you're asked to give up that facility by Krishna or his representatives. If we're really using it for Krishna, I'll do without it, no problem. But if we're saying, no, I can't, impossible, no way. What does that mean? It means, yes, it's partially for Krishna. But you're attached for your own selfish purposes. Are we sincere? When something's taken away, then that's the test. Are we actually sincere? Or are we only trying to selfishly enjoy something in the name of Krishna? And not only things, but even more powerful than that is pratishta, recognition, prestige, title, and position. People are very attached to positions. People will lie, cry, and die for a position. And we like to say that I'm only in this position because it's the best thing for Krishna's service. But even in the name of Krishna's service, you may be in a trap of illusion. And the test is, give up your position. How will I live? How will I serve? I need this title. I need my name on the door. We should not be attached to a service. We should be attached to the spirit of service. And on the basis of people wanting prestige, honor, respect, To the degree you have those desires, it's inevitable. You will be envious of people who are potential competitors, or people who have more than you. Yes? Then where is the yoga? Where is the union? There's no real yoga until we're free of envy. It's not just a matter of sitting cross-legged and doing some breathing exercises or standing on your head. Those things are good for health and good for harmonizing body, mind, and soul. But to purify the heart, to purify it so there's real unity with God and real unity with others, we have to rise above the ahankar, the false ego, where we want to take credit for what we do. Bharat did everything for 14 years, and he did a magnificent job. He practically made no mistakes. The whole kingdom was so proud of him, but he never, ever once took credit for anything. He gave all credit to Ram's sandals. He would go every day to the throne and read the report to Ram's sandals. This is what I have done for you today. What would you like me to do for you tomorrow? And if anybody gave him any credit, no, all the credit belongs to the sandals of my Lord. He took credit for nothing, and he had no position. Although he did the service of a king, the sandals were the king, and he just remained a mendicant. That is pure devotional service. That is love. Now that doesn't mean you people in Bombay should start growing your hair matted and looking for bark from trees to wear. You wouldn't know how to put it on even if you had it. I've tried it before. I don't know how you put it on. It's very complicated, actually. But it is the spirit that is important. Why so many splits in denominations, so many factions in religious societies? And even in a society that is existing as one, there's often so much infighting and politics. Why politics? Politics are all about the false ego. People who are attached to a position. People who are attached to the prestige of that position. People who want the honor and the respect of that position and who want the facilities that come with that position. And people want to be respected for being the doer of what they do. But bhakti means liberation. Liberation from all these complications. Give credit to God. So easy, but so difficult. Take this example of Bharat in the core of your heart. You may have a position that I'm the father or I'm the mother of this house. The father thinks he's the king of the house. But the mother knows that I'm the king of the house. Everyone's a servant of God. We're all servants of each other. Krishna's the king. then there's harmony. Just like that beautiful story of Ramanujacharya, where Dhanurdas, he was a big, handsome wrestler who had a beautiful wife, so beautiful. And he became a devotee of Ramanujacharya, the great saint of South India. And his wife wore ornaments, and he had nice clothes, and he had a nice house. And Ramanujacharya gave so much attention and so much affection and so much appreciation for him. Meanwhile, the brahmacharis in the ashram, the sadhus, they were thinking, we don't get so much affection from Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj must be in Maya. Why doesn't he see this? It's like the noonday sun, it's obvious. We're austere, we're studying the Shastras, we're sleeping on the floor, we're just wearing kopans and a little cloth on us, and we're eating whatever he gives us. And Dhanurdas, look at what he and his wife, how they're living. What's with our Guru Maharaj? Why he's giving so much affection? So Ramanujacharya understood what they were thinking. So one night, in the middle of the night, when they were sleeping, he went to their kopans and started tearing them up. Kopan is a loincloth, very simple, it's what they wear. And after they woke up in the morning, Ma, you ripped my loincloth. You're so envious of me. You ripped mine. And they were all arguing. They were fighting like anything over loincloths. Hare Krishna. Then that night, Ramanujacharya said, you know that Dhanurdas, he's too attached to his wife and his wealth and all that stuff. And they, yes. Correct. Let's expose him. I'll call him tonight while his wife is sleeping, and you go there and steal her jewelry. And then go back and watch how disturbed both are when they found that their jewelry that they're so attached to has been stolen. The brahmacharis were really excited about this plan. So he called Dhanurdas, and while he was away, the wife was sleeping, and the brahmachari snuck in and started stealing jewelry. And then she started to turn over, and they ran away. So then they went hiding and watched what his reaction would be. Hare Krishna. He said, why only half your face has jewelry? He said, because the brahmacharis came and stole them. She didn't say steal. He said came and, she said, our Guru Maharaj must really be in a financial problem, because the brahmachari, out of their love and devotion to Guru Maharaj, they came to just, take these things. They didn't steal it, they just came to take them. And then he said, well, why didn't you give it all of them? Why you still have half on your face? She said, well, I turned around to make it easier for them to take it, but as soon as I turned, they ran away. And he said, well, why didn't you turn slower? This is very bad. We should give everything, not half. The brahmacharis went back and reported to Ramanujacharya. And he said, oh, you see, you're taking everything away from them and they want you to take all? They want you to take it? And last night, when you had little tears in your loincloths, you were fighting about it? They understood. Real detachment is a state of the heart. Real detachment is about understanding that I am the property of God, that everything is the property of God, and that fame, prestige, title, honor, that is all in God's hands. Narayana parasarve nakutashtina bibyate swarga pavarga narakeshu apitulyata darshana. Lord Shiva tells what is a real devotee. In any situation, a devotee is simply happy to serve. And this is what we must try to emulate by following in the footsteps of Bharat Maharaj. For 14 years, he served in this way. And on the day when Ram returned, he immediately put the sandals back on Ram and coronated him as king and remained his servant for the rest of his life. As they were leaving Chitrakoot, Kaushalya, seeing her son Ram living as a hermit in the forest was too much. And Lakshman's mother, seeing him in that state, Kaushalya and she just wept as they bid farewell to their sons. As everyone else was leaving, their backs were turned. Kaikeyi, the mother of Bharat, who viciously exiled Ram to the forest, she fell at Ram's feet. She was crying uncontrollably, begging forgiveness. I am ignorant. I was completely under illusion. I was a victim of envy and greed. And look at what I have done to so many people's lives. Now I'm aware of what a sinful, sinful person I am. I beg you, please forgive me. Do you remember what Ram told Kaikeyi? He said, never think like that. You're a wonderful mother, and you love me, and I love you. He said, actually, it wasn't you that exiled me. It was my plan. It was myself who induced you to do this. Because I have a great plot. I have a great plan of how to deliver this world. Kaikeyi, she understood something that hardly anyone else knew in Ayodhya. She said, I can understand now that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the Lord of all the universes who has descended from the spiritual world. And Ram said, yes, I have revealed this truth to you. And whatever you have done, it is under my control. So you go home and you be peaceful and happy. And I will return in 14 years to be with you once again. Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. The Ramayana is full of precious lessons of how to properly tread the path of pure devotional service. In this age of Kali, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the role of his own devotee to teach by his words and example. Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama janamani janmanishwari bhavatad bhaktirahoitaki tvayi. In this one sloka, Lord Chaitanya has summarized the essence of everything we've been discussing today, and unlimitedly more. The ideal of Ram's integrity, the model of Bharat's selfless service, are encapsulated in this verse. I do not want wealth. I do not want the pleasures of the senses. I do not want prestige or followers. I do not even want liberation from suffering. I only want to serve you. I don't even want liberation. Birth after birth after birth, in any situation, in any place, in any condition. I am your servant unconditionally. That is the quality of the soul. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us how to uncover that essential quality of the soul in this age through the purifying method of chanting God's holy names. If we simultaneously strive to live with these aspirations and these virtues and chant the names of the Lord, the name of the Lord is none different than the Lord. It awakens our love of God and purifies our heart. Simply by living in that service attitude, humble service attitude, without expectations, and chanting God's name in this very life, that divine love awakens from within. And the greatest of all services that we can do is to share that love in whatever we do within our life. It is for this purpose, to teach us this principle, that Lord Ramchandra descended on this day to this earth. So let us pray sincerely that we will strive to show our gratitude for His mercy by reciprocating and making it the priority of our life, however easy or difficult it may be. To have a life of substance, we must be willing to maintain the dignity of our ideals under all circumstances. And if we do that, then very quickly, love of God will appear within our hearts through the chanting of His names. Our beloved Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, he was the embodiment of all of these divine qualities. and what integrity he had, despite impossible difficulties and obstacles. The principle of compassion never waned in his character to give us the treasure of his heart, Krishna. At this time there will be Arti. This will be the special Arti ceremony to celebrate Ram's appearance. He appeared at noon. So one may ask why we're having the noon Arti at 9:12 at night. The answer, yoga. This is the yoga process. Should I give a purport? Yoga means unity. And Radhanath Bihari Temple was having Arti at 12 o'clock. And if we had competing, it would create disunity. And because they're better than us, it's proper that they should have it at the traditional time, and just to humble ourselves, to keep unity and respect, we will have it at 9:15 at night. But at the same time, the Lord appears whenever we call out for him sincerely. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.